Why is a water pressure reduce valve necessary? To reduce high pressure in water supply system. According to building regulation, the pressure in the water supply should not exceed 4.5 bars. This is necessary for the stable operation of sanitary equipment and household appliances, such as boilers, filters, washing machines, etc. In other words, PRV must maintain the specified pressure at the outlet, regardless of the value of the inlet pressure and the consumption of water. In addition, most service centers may refuse to repair a boiler or filter free of charge if your water supply system does not have PRV. My name is Evgen and today I will tell you all about pressure reduce valves. But first, subscribe to my channel and support my work by liking this video. 95% of PRVs have an adjustment screw or knob to set the required pressure value. A manometer is needed to make a setting correctly. Some models are equipped with the pressure gauge, but for most it should be purchased separately. In addition to the protection function, the PRV helps to avoid pressure fluctuations in the water supply network. For example, when you take a shower, the PRV stabilizes the water flow and you will not have problem with constantly adjusting the balance of cold and hot water. It can also reduce water consumption in general. Water reducers work according to the principle of after itself. Water first passes through the working opening of the valve choke and then acts on the working mechanism, piston or membrane. If the pressure is higher than the set one, the throttle begins to close and create resistance to the flow of the water. And so until the pressure after the throttle is equal to the set one. As a rule, the factory setting of the reducer is 3 bars. To change it, you need to install pressure gauge. Then, using a hex key, loosen or tighten the adjustment spring. In the first case, the pressure will be less, in the second case more. That is, the tighter the spring, the more effort, the word more pressure, the water needs to lift the piston or membrane. In any case, when you start changing the settings, the real indicator will show the pressure gauge. It's necessary to be guided by it. By design, PRVs are piston or membrane. The main differences is in working mechanisms that monitors the water pressure. Bodies are usually made of CW617N brass. Often the body has a protective anti-corrosion coating made of nickel. On top is the adjustment screw. There is a spring under the cover, from each of the side or from an outlet under the manometer. The piston is located relative to the vertical axis. It consists of 2 parts. Lower greatest resistance of completely interrupts the flow of water at high pressure. The upper part receives the flow pressure. For better sliding and reduction of friction, 2 rings made of EPDM are installed in the upper part of the piston. More expensive PRVs are designed to work with high fluid pressure, up to 25 atmospheres. Cheaper models work at 15-16 bars. In a membrane pressure reduced valves, the element that perceives pressure changes is an elastic membrane. It turns out that diaphragm reducers have fewer rubbing surfaces compared to piston ones. Therefore, their reliability, durability are greater, as however in the cost. There are several common problems with the water pressure reduced valves. First, pressure increase in static mode. That is when the water does not move through the pipes. Second, the PRV does not hold the required pressure values. Destruction of the body or internal parts of PRV. This happens for several reasons. Friction force and contamination of the piston or membrane. In this connection, the differences between set pressure and the actual pressure is created. In membrane PRVs, this problem is not so strong due to the absence of rubbing parts, since the change in pressure is taken only by membrane. But pistons can be really troublesome. Therefore, if the PRV error exceeds 10%, the valve must be changed or cleaned, if it's possible. The problem can be solved by installing a strainer in the front of PRV. The contamination of piston seat. If this happens, the PRV cannot completely shut off the water flow, and increasing pressure is inevitable. Solution: cleaning and washing the device. For this, it's necessary to provide for the installation of ball valves with union nut before and after the PRV. If it's installed horizontally, it must be brought to a vertical position. This action reduces the possibility of contamination of the piston seat. Cold water heating. This problem is observed in the winter period, when water comes to the apartment with a temperature of, for example, +5. Then it's heated to room temperature, and with it an increase in pressure. The solution: to install a shock absorber. Incorrect choice of PRV. Most consumers select PRV by thread size. For example, if the pipe is 20 mm, then the PRV is ½ inch. There is a big mistake hidden here. The water pressure value must be selected according to the water consumption, that is, according to the number of plumbing fixtures in the house or apartment. Among the many characteristics and parameters of water pressure reducers is the concept of reduction coefficient. This is the ratio of inlet and outlet pressure. It should not exceed the value of 20.5. Very few people pay attention of it, and most of them choose the wrong PRV size or setting. As a result, the cavitation effect occurs, which leads to premature failure of the valve. There is a cavitation diagram for PRVs. The working point must fall into the green zone. For example, the inlet pressure is 8.5 bars, the desired output pressure is 1.5 bars. From the values of the example, the operation point falls into the cavitation zone, 0.3. The reduction factor is 5.7, which is much more than 2.5. Solution: installation of two PRVs in line. In this case, pressure reduction occurs in two stages. The first reduction is 2.4, the second reduction is 2.3. When installing an operation of PRV, you should remember all these points. When choosing and buying, first of all, you need to decide on the type, piston or membrane, and then on the brand. That's all, thank you all and see you soon.